I already knew when I saw everything going on with Iran and people talking about oil that the next step was gonna be, oh well, we gotta go green now. We gotta leave oil behind. We gotta do this. Y'all do not want that, bro. I'm being so honest. And listen, I know there's some hardcore green people that's gonna come on this post and be like, you don't know what you're talking about, but hear me out before you get to tweaking in the comments. I've been working in power generation for almost 8.5 years in some way, shape, or form. I went to trade school for electrical technology. I got 2 certificates. I've done a lot, a lot of time in this field. And any mechanic or technician would tell you a lot of the green solutions that the government has implemented and put in place, like the emission stuff for the engines, has made these engines junk. Has made a lot of the small effects, if you really look into it, that it helps with the environment, it has backfired immensely because the equipment's trash. Honestly, just being real with you guys, like wind turbines and solar power, listen, it's a great tool in tandem with what we already have. But going to it outright, and I'm gonna be honest with you, if you talk to like a lot of like project managers or someone who's building a building that's super important, if you was to go to them like off the record, no cameras around, be like, hey, this building cannot lose power under no circumstances. Would you rather have a nuclear based system powering it, or would you rather have a solar based system or a wind turbine system? Or they're gonna say nuclear every time because it's reliable, they know it's effective. If you ask them, hey, we need backup power for this unit, we got generators, do you want a battery bank or one of these other new units, or do you want a regular mechanical? He's gonna say, I want the normal mechanical units. It just is what it is, bro. Like they don't, this stuff does not operate as well as people think. And a lot of this is because when these politicians put together these laws and stuff, they don't really consult anybody who's an expert in the field. And I'm not even saying I'm an expert. I know a good bit about it, but you really need to sit down with someone who knows what's going on. You can't think you're the smartest person in the room and really be like, all right, what are the pros and cons to this? And before we go, balls to the walls, you're like, hey, we gotta get this going. Because I think a lot of people are going to push for it. I think a lot of politicians are going to push for it. And guess who's going to pay for the difference? We are. Because when this equipment goes down, like you going back to the engines, because that's like the best example I can give you. These new emissions engines with the SCR system and the DEF and all this other shit, man, I'm talking about we would do repairs to some of these units, bro. We do a repair and a regen on Monday, and by that following Monday or the Monday after, that shit's back in the shop again, messed up. Like, that's how bad this equipment is. And if you own a truck that takes DEF, you're not going to say I'm lying. Because when they go bad, they go bad. And you really got to fix them, and it costs money. And guess who's going to pay for that difference? When these companies need to keep calling out techs and calling out mechanics and all this other stuff, we going to pay the difference. The consumer pays the difference. So before, and listen, this is not me saying that it's not smarter for us to go green in a lot of areas and using it in tandem with what we already have. I think that's a good idea, but there's a way to go about it. But I just know just the way the pendulum swings and how these, politics works. Somebody's going to be like, no, do away with everything. And it's the same thing that went down with the cars. That shit didn't work because it doesn't operate better, bro. And we'll see what happens, man. But I see it coming down the line, and I'm warning y'all. Y'all don't want this.